Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to, I have to say, the final broadcast of the 2015 ACE Championship. As I said, it is the final broadcast. Round 14 of the season takes us to a beautiful venue. It's Interlagos, currently surrounded by a few clouds coming in. We are already in Q1 at the moment with just over 8 minutes to go, and today it's going to be a fascinating race. Why I say that? Well, the reason for that is that a champion is going to be crowned today. It's going to be either Rens Klopp or Ragusa. Both guys are on the server, so that is very good. We've got 16 drivers here for the final round. Klopp is currently leading the championship, only 2 points ahead of his teammate Daniel Kiss, who obviously hasn't been racing for the last couple of rounds, but has been, you could say, dominating the first half of the season. However, he is not here, of course. He did a few WC races and cannot race in ACE anymore, and so he is not here. As I said, he's 2 points down on Klopp. But Ragusa, he is the one who could still challenge Klopp for that championship. Currently 16 points behind the leader. And so that's going to be a very fascinating battle indeed today. Ragusa straight away shows what he has got and is in P1 with a 109.687. It's a bit of a tricky conditions here at the moment at Interlagos. I presume that some rain could be falling, but if it is going to fall down, it's going to be some drizzle and not a whole lot of rain, I would say. Sometimes we see the track getting a little bit darker, sometimes we see it getting lighter again, so that is indeed an indication that clouds are around the track, and I can indeed confirm that that is the case. It is cloudy, but whether the rain is going to strike is hard to say. I have a nice radar though on my other monitor, so I hope to spot it as early as possible. But honestly, it's Interlagos, and a shower can develop so quickly and so, at a point where when you don't expect it, that it can really, surprise you. And it's going to be fascinating, as I said, also because of that. Rens Klopp in the meantime has gone fastest with a 109.5. He shows here that he also wants to be the champion, and why of course not. Rens Klopp was the champion last year in Pro, and would be fantastic for him, of course, if he could get another championship here 1 year later in ACE, and maybe next year could make a jump up to WC. Although I doubt we will see all of these guys next year in FSR. I know from Rens Klopp that he has had struggles this year with racing. Missed a few races, I think, as well, but was very busy with his personal life, and we all have a life, of course, besides this hobby. So we've currently got about 9 people, well, we've got exactly 9 people in the 109s. Martin Hode is in 10th at the moment, that is the cutoff time, 1:10.065, about half a second off our leader Rens Klopp. As Paschalis Georgius, currently in 9th, is about to start his lap as well. Interlagos, a relatively short track, hence the reason why the lap times are 1:10, 1 minute 10 seconds. That's obviously not a lot. When you take Spa, for example, it's about 2 minutes, about 1:45, 1:50. Paschalis Georgius in the Ayrton Senna S corner. Fantastic corner, but very tricky to get right. And there is the example, the perfect example, I should say a demonstration from Paschalis Georgius, who actually crashes there. Very tricky, that first corner, the Ayrton Senna S. Now it is tricky, but it is definitely an overtaking zone in the race. It goes downhill. You need to line yourself up for the very tricky right hand there, I would say. It doesn't seem all that tricky from a spectator point of view, but from a driver point of view, there's a bit of a bump right in the middle of the right-hander, and that can sometimes cause some oversteer, especially when you have worn tires. But that is all to see for the race. Erasmus in the meantime, a 109.3, so these times are definitely dropping. Rens Klopp about 2/10 down at the moment, but we know that Rens Klopp is going to do another lap. He's actually on the lap right now. Second sector time, 35.685, about a 10th down on Masciuli in the second sector. Giuseppe Ragusa in the meantime has gone purple in the mid sector, so pay attention to Ragusa as well, crossing the line behind Rens Klopp, who's going to cross the line first with DRS wide open. Is he able to improve? Yes, he is, a 109.4, but watch Ragusa in the background, boom, 109.350. About 15 thousandths of a second quicker than the lap time of Eros Masciuli. But Masciuli up there once again, which is good to see. Masciuli, in my opinion, making some steps. from Singapore onwards in this championship. It's good to see that he is once again up there for the Eventa team. What can Mitchie Hoyer do? 109.6. Hoyer is 4th in the championship. He hasn't got a shot at the championship this race. As I said, there are only 3 guys, and Hoyer does a 109.539, able to improve. Not by much though, it keeps him in 4th place. Looking once again at that cutoff time, Paschalis Jurges 109.9. So the whole top 10 is right now in the 109s. But Paschalis being 6 tenths down on the leader, which is quite a bit around a track like this. It's a relatively short track, not a lot of time you can lose. But Paschalis, is he on the lap at the moment? Yes, he is. But he went really deep into a... never mind. He abandons his lap once again. Paschalis Jurges is struggling at the moment. Abandons his lap for the 2nd consecutive time after making an error. He's only going to get one more shot at it, while Prieto right now has the cutoff point, cutoff time. But he is only 200ths of a second quicker than Paschalis, so it is relatively close over here. Prieto also making a mistake. Bit of a lock up from him in the 2nd sector. Godek in the meantime is doing very well. Purple 1st sector time. About 4 tenths down though on Ragusa in the 2nd sector. What can Godek do? Godek opening up his DRS, crossing the line right about now. Is he going to get in the 109s as well? The answer is yes. 109.7 from him. That's relatively nice for him because it puts him up in 8th place and not something like 10th or whatever. Because I'm sure that some of these guys are still going to improve. Heestebeek in 10th, I don't think that time is going to be enough. So it is really nice to see this. Track is rubbering in more and more as well. Keep that in mind. So we're racing here with an ambient temperature of 19 degrees Celsius. Not a lot at all, but it is once again relatively cloudy. For tomorrow there are some showers predicted as well for WC. In Pro we don't use the real-time weather system or whatever you want to call it. We have seen obviously a rain race in Spa in ACE this year, which was fascinating. I mean that race was one of the best races possibly of this ACE Championship this season. Can we see something similar today? It would be nice as well. I presume most of these guys are running right now a dry setup, of course. What happens if it is going to rain in the middle of the race and these guys are maybe not well prepared, or you know, not as much prepared as you would be when it would be raining right now and you would load your wet setup or whatever. So a lot of scenarios could happen this race, but we'll see how it unfolds. Is there anyone going quickly? Mitchie Hoyer in 4th, just crossed the line. Did he improve though? I think he did. 109.492 for him. Still in 4th place though, couldn't improve by enough to jump a spot. De Wald now currently in 10th. He will be happy with that. Good lap time from De Wald now, 109.8. He is done though, as time is running out. 25 seconds to go in the session. What can Heestebeek do? Heestebeek is up for an improvement. Can he get De Wald now out of the top 10? Answer is yes. Good lap from Heestebeek up to 5th place with a 109.6. Hodes then at the cut-off point. Hodes on the lap himself right now as well. Just crossed the 1st sector time, but he isn't up for an improvement in the 2nd sector. Runs wide off the track. Hodes is gone. I think I said 2nd sector, but I meant the 1st sector, of course. Prieto in 12th, Paschalis Jurges in 13th. What can these guys do? I'm looking for the guys outside the top 10 at the moment. Q2 is the time where you would focus on the drivers inside the top 10. Paschalis Jurges and Prieto are both in the 2nd sector at the moment. Paschalis Jurges being in front of Prieto, so let's have a look at that. Prieto is up for a personal improvement in the 1st sector. However, Paschalis could not improve in the 1st sector. Paschalis gonna have to give it all in these final 2 sectors. But once again, Paschalis is not improving in the 2nd sector. Again, Jurges, however, get into the top 10 with a solid final sector. That is the question. He needs low downforce in order to do that. Not a lot of time can be gained in this final sector. The answer is no, I don't think. And Paschalis Jurges doesn't even improve. What can Prieto do though? Prieto, here we go. Can he do it? No. And Prieto doesn't do it either. 12th place for him. And so, Hodes seems to be safe at the moment. Alessio Campos, 110.7 in Alessio Campos, his final race I believe, puts himself up into 15th spot. And only Godek to go to set a lap time. What is Godek doing though? Godek is not on the lap at the moment. This is his out lap. But Merrick, there is no time left in this session, so I doubt you'll be able to set a lap time. I'm not watching the replay, I just double checked. But I'm definitely, I'm sure that Godek just crossed the line while the checkered flag was out, so this lap is not going to count for Godek. Still relatively interesting to see what he can do though. Now having said that, obviously his sector times don't count anyway, so it's hard to get a benchmark. Godek in 9th at the moment, 109.7. We have got 4 drivers doing a 109.7. It is really close over here. And what else do you expect? I said it before. This track is so short, there's not a lot of time which can be gained, neither lost. And Ragusa goes into Q2 with a 109.350. We will be happy with that. And Mashuli can be proud as well for being on 2nd place. Only about 100th of a second, a little bit over that, behind Ragusa as well. So remember that. It's going to be a close 2nd qualifying session where only the top 10 is allowed to drive. Having a look at the radar, the clouds which were there before, I think are starting to, go away a little bit. The sun is even starting to shine right now at Sao Paulo, so the clouds which there were before have disappeared a little bit, but as I said, it's Interlagos. A new cloud can form really easily and spoil someone's race perhaps. So because it is the final race of the season, there's a little bit of an adjustment in terms of regulations and whatnot. This is for all the divisions, so tomorrow we will see this as well. It's a little bit of a time gap really in between Q1 and Q2. There will be a little bit of a time gap as well in between Q2 and the warm-up. Reason for that being the drivers being able to check their lap times right here. Excuse me. For cuts. I mean, this is the final race of the season. Penalties you are getting over here by the stewards, or which can be gained by stewards over here, will not transfer into the first round of the 2016 season. So in the 2016 season, every single driver starts off by having a fresh sheet, so to say, as Ben Hoyle just joined the race, making it a total of 18 drivers right now, and I think George Shatsipantelis is going to join as well, making it up to 19 then. As I said though, this is the final race. Next season the penalties won't be carried over which you earned for this round. Which means, as I said, a little bit of a change in regulations. Having a penalty over here doesn't, it won't give you a back of the grid for the 2016 season. It are simply time penalties, usually varying from 30-second time penalties to 60-second time penalties, depending on the situation. Depending on how big the incident was, which is all there to judge for the race directors, of course. We are in the meantime waiting though, obviously, for Q2, as these drivers are getting about 3 minutes, which is about 30 seconds right now, I presume, to check their laps for cuts, maybe extents, check the track limits, make sure you stay within the track limits. It's a relatively, I would say, safe track in terms of track limits. The only part where you can really extend is at turn 4, the exit of turn 4, going into the second sector. And because in FSR curbs count as part of the track, so not particularly the white lines or necessarily the white lines, but the curbs as well. The exit of turn 12, for example, which is that left-hander when you go up the hill in the final sector. There's a big curb on the outside there, so you can go pretty much off the track, be with 4 wheels on the curb, and it doesn't count as a extent. Same for turn 3, exit of turn 3, and same for exit of turn 7, which is that double uphill right-hander, the very quick one, excuse me. But as I said, because of the fact that those curbs count as part of the track, it's not easy to really track extend over here, and that's why I say it's pretty safe. So the 3 minutes are over, and our race director Blair Disley is asking whether he has seen anyone making any cuts. But so far it's quiet, and in Dutch we always say no news is good news, and nobody has news regarding, so it seems like everyone was safe. Moving to Q2, here we go then. Every driver has got one opportunity, as always in FSR, in ACE, to get a lap in. You can get one lap, and that is it. So a lot of pressure will be on these guys, their shoulders. And everyone, of course, in the top 10 was separated by about 4 tenths. Everyone was in the 109, so expect a rather close qualifying session over here. Who's going out first? It is Eros Masjuli. Nice to see that. Here we go. So you can definitely see what I was talking about. I said the clouds on the radar were disappearing, and if you compare this the start of Q2 to the start of Q1, I think visually you can see that there, it's a lot brighter. The sun is out, which is indeed the case at Sao Paulo at the moment. There are some clouds here and there, of course, but the sun is coming through, and that is good news for the guys who hoped for a dry race. That is bad news for guys who hoped for a dry, or a wet race, including me. But who knows? I said it before. You never know at Interlagos, and maybe the rain can spice things up a little bit in terms of weather as well. Having a look at Eros Masjuli though, as Michele D'Alessandro also went out. It's in fact Michele. No, it's Michele. It's Michele D'Alessandro. I made a mistake last time where I said Michele, so that's why I say it. But it's definitely Michele D'Alessandro who is out on track right now as well. Eros Masjuli and D'Alessandro out on track. Masjuli setting his lap time first, though. He is entering the first DRS zone around this track and hitting about 319 kilometers an hour as he slows the car down for the Senna S corner. Once again, I said it before, it's a very tricky corner. A lot of bumps on the entry there, and also a lot of bumps on the second apex of the right-hander. Then his left-hander, full throttle, no problem, and opening up the DRS once again for the second DRS zone. This is then turn 4 he's heading to right now. A very interesting corner, going slightly downhill, slightly cambered, although you don't really see that, but you can definitely feel it. Up the gears once again and up to 7th gear in the double right-hander. Swing it in there, the car just grips like hell. Masjuli having a few problems over there. Didn't expect that much grip. It was a little bit, in my opinion, too much to the right-hand side for the second apex of the double right-hander. Turn 7. Coming through turn 9 there, nicely on the power as well. Turn 10 then, make sure you slow the car down, which he does so nicely. Bit of oversteer on the exit. Turn 11 flat out, definitely not flat out in the rain however, but it is not raining. Turn 12, which is the real final corner of the track in my opinion. Of course, these are all corners as well, as Masjuli had a bit of oversteer on the corner exit over there. These are all corners of course too, but they are more or less kinks in my opinion. DRS wide open then for Eros Masjuli, and he's going to set the first benchmark. What is it going to be? A 109.5 for him after he did a 0.3 before. But this is the first benchmark, and we are waiting now for Michele D'Alessandro then. What can he do? He just crossed the second sector mark obviously, and he is about 1.5 tenths down I would say on Eros Masjuli. Michele D'Alessandro looking for a 109.6, 109.7, all depending on his final sector. What can he do? It's indeed a 109.7 for Michele D'Alessandro, almost a 109.8 I would say. And then we are looking at Viktor Ivanov, the next guy to set a lap time. Would be nice if this guy could get himself highly up there. He has been working very hard I would say over the course of the past weeks I think. I've seen this guy practicing quite a bit here and there. And so it would be nice if this guy, Viktor Ivanov, could get a nice result. You could see there that the Eventa car through that double right-hander, she goes a little bit deep into turn 8. Through the double right-hander, the Eventa car just seemed to understeer a little bit more in the corner itself there to compared to Eros Masjuli. Could be because of the setup, could also be with the entering speed. Maybe Viktor took a little bit more speed on corner entry over there. 36.2 in the mid-sector. That is about 6 tenths down on Eros Masjuli at the moment, and in fact Viktor Ivanov abandons his lap, is not happy with it and decides to back out of it. That is an interesting one. Looking at Renskrop, he is on his lap time on the flyer as well, 117 or sorry, a 17.1 in the first sector, which is purple. He has got some traffic in front of him, however, he gets nicely out of the way over there. This is crucial for Renskrop. He wants to be on pole position, of course, if he can. He's got the championship lead and wants to start as far up as possible, of course. So far having a reasonably second sector, I would say. It seems all relatively stable for Renskrop as always. He sets a 35.8 in the middle sector, about 2 tenths down on Eros Masjuli, but he was about 500ths of a second quicker, so half a tenth in the first sector. It's however, I don't think going to be enough to get provisional pole position at the moment. Klopp though, what can he do? Can he put himself up into second? The answer is yes, definitely. 109.6 for him. Then we've got a few more drivers to cross the line. One of them is Martin Hodes. Gobby is purple in the first sector in the meantime as well. Gobby is coming behind Hodes, so Hodes is going to cross the line first. Hastenbeek with a 17.1 as well. Everyone so far setting on 17.1 in the first sector, except for Martin Hodes, which is all quicker than Eros Marshuli. Hoyer going purple now as well in the first sector. It is really close at the moment, but it's all about the final sector, the middle sector rather. That is really where you can most time. Martin Hodes, a fantastic middle sector for him. He's about 200 shy of Eros Marshuli in the middle sector. However, he was already 300 shy as well in the first sector. What can he do though in the final sector? DRS also wide open for him. Can he get any close to Eros Marshuli? Yes, he can. A very nice lap from Martin Hodes. Up into second place, and a really nice lap from him. He will be happy with that. As Gobby goes provisional pole, a 109.4. I told you he was going purple, and now it's waiting for Ragusa. Ragusa nowhere purple. Ragusa made a mistake in the middle sector, in fact. Still a 109.6, unbelievable. He was 4 tenths down in the middle sector, but still gets a 109.6. And a few guys have abandoned their lap, including Mitchie Hoyer. Remarkable to see that. Hoyer was purple in the middle sector, most likely made a mistake somewhere, and so we are only waiting for Godek, who goes up into 4th place. And a remarkable session there, I would say. 3 drivers not setting a lap time. Hoyer was quickest in the first sector at the point where he was setting his lap time. Hastenbeek was also quicker than Eros Marshuli at the time. Both have made a mistake though. Victor Ivanov, we saw him abandoning in the lap time. Gobby in first, 109.4. Pretty much out of the blue, I would say. I did not expect that, but respect to Gobby being shy by a 10th, which is a good margin around this track. So pole position goes to Fabrizio Gobby. Eros Marshuli follows him with a 109.5. Once again, I said before, I think Marshuli has stepped up his game quite a bit in the final couple of races during this season. Martin Hodes in third, pretty much out of the blue as well. I did not expect him to see him that high up. Godek in 4th. And the interesting thing is that Ragusa and Klopp, the 2 guys who are battling for the championship, are, well, don't take this as any kind of disrespect, but only 5th and 6th. I mean, you would expect one of those guys to be at least in the top 3 perhaps. But you won't hear me complaining, because this is going to give us a fantastic prospect for the race. Imagine being Rens Klopp on pole position at the moment and just flying off in the race, or Ragusa, you know. It's not going to be like that. And the fantastic thing is as well, those guys are right near each other, with Ragusa, who has to stay in front of Klopp, of course, in order to win the championship, is in front of Klopp as well. I mean, that is a fantastic order. However, Ragusa has got a 16-point gap, which he has to, to cross, to bridge, to Klopp. I mean, that's not impossible, of course, but 16 is still quite a bit. Would be something special would have to happen if Klopp wouldn't be a champion here, I would say. But maybe some rain. Who knows? You never know. As once again, the drivers are allowed to check their laps right now for cuts. 3 drivers, once again, I said it before, not setting a lap time, and that is interesting to see around this track. It's a relatively hard track, in my opinion, to set a good qualifying lap time. It's a really Mickey Mouse middle sector, I would say. Maybe thanks to that, you get some kind of will to push to the absolute maximum. And that is sometimes, the maximum or the limit is crossed, and that happened probably for some of these drivers. So while those guys are checking their laps, I'm going to quickly check what actually happened to Hoyer then. First of all, let's take Hoyer, the German. Hoyer, as I said, purple middle sector, but what happened afterwards? Must have happened in the middle sector, you would say. Definitely. Oh, yep, definitely. Oversteer on entry of turn 10. we may see that in the race as well. It's a pretty common mistake that the rears lock up over there. You don't necessarily brake in a straight line. You pretty much turn into the corner. So you apply some steering lock while braking. And Heestebeke lost it on the exit of, I think that is turn 10 as well. Yep. Also turn 10 for Heestebeke, also where he lost it. And Francesconi had a cut. But Francesconi didn't send a lap time, so Francesconi is trolling. Nonetheless, though, Gobby with an outstanding lap time. 109.4, 1/10 shy of the rest of the field. But it's nice to see Hodes once again up into third place as well. And Ragusa and Klopp, the two guys challenging for the championship this afternoon, are in 5th and 6th place. You may be wondering, how is the rain looking? Well, I said it before, clouds were there before. But checking the radar, the clouds have gone. Sun is out on this virtual Interlagos. And that's it. The clouds have gone. There's not a single indication of rain at the moment. What is so interesting about, talking about rain at Sao Paulo is that you don't really see like a shower heading directly towards the track. You don't see that. Showers create themselves around the track itself. So they can just create all out of the blue, all of a sudden there is a cloud and you don't really see it coming because you don't see like 60 kilometers before the track on the radar. You see a whole shower coming towards the track. You don't see that. The showers develop themselves around the track and could be heading towards the track as well. Remember that Sao Paulo is really close to the beach as well, to the coast of Brazil. And that definitely has a role in terms of weather conditions. Oh, and this is an interesting one. From the race director, we've got some news. He says you can cut the pit entry white line in the race. Now, does he mean that in the race itself while racing, or does he mean that while entering the pit? You would think that he only means it while racing. When you go into the pit lane, you really have to stay to the left-hand side, so really close to the barrier. And stay within that white line of the pit entry line. There's a bit of a discussion actually about this right now. Oh, you can cut the white line on entry even if pitting. Okay. Well, so be it. Same for everyone. But I did not know that, but now we do. Nonetheless, I think we'll be heading into warm-up very, very shortly as Alessio Campos has entered the race. And I think, I said it before, I think it is Alessio's final race in FSR, but I could be wrong. Maybe my colleague Chris de Jong knows more about that one. Chris de Jong is here. I mean, Chris, where have you been, mate? Yes,
Can I talk
course.
after 1 hour? Okay.
Go ahead.
Alessio Campos is driving his last race of FSR for the time being. He will not participate next year, it seems. So if that's the info you've needed, I'll be on my way again. See you in an hour. So no, I didn't know the time didn't change in the UK, whatever. I thought it was still +2 GMT, so I counted on like 6:30. So a little bit late here. Hope you managed to entertain everybody, Jeroen, with a fancy dance, fancy, whatever. But yeah, nice to be back. So a lot of action into the Q1s and the Q2s.
Oh, Q1 was a relatively interesting session. I mean, we have the Walt now in 11th place, almost making it into the top 10, which is very nice for him. But
Awesome.
what I was stunned to see is that in Q1 the times were relatively close to each other. The whole top 10 was in the 109s, which is not that big of a surprise, but most of the guys were really close to each other. I remember having 4 drivers setting a lap time of a 109.7. So 4 drivers being separated by about, I think it was 300ths of a second. And then suddenly in Q2, you do see some drivers snapping. Maybe because of pressure. Mitchie, Hoyer, Heestebeke and Ivanov all three didn't set the lap time, they were really quick over the course of their lap, except for Ivanov, who was lacking in the second sector. But 3 guys not setting a lap time here in his Q2
Wow.
session.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Really astonishing. Last time I drove here, it was like the 2012, but I believe we did it in 2013 as well. But I couldn't back then. But I remember 2012, I set my only 109 in Q2. I was very proud with that. Nevertheless, it seems that the mod, doesn't differ, or the lap times don't really differ from those days. And I think it's pretty realistic for Interlagos. 109s. Maybe in the real race we will see 110s or something. But an absolute awesome venue to have on the calendar. I really, really love Interlagos. Some drivers do, some drivers don't. Maybe you've read about Daniel Ricciardo saying he doesn't find the track really interesting at all. But yeah, that's a little bit personal favor, You have people who like the new Hockenheim over the old Hockenheim as well.
True.
That's also something. Fortunately, our president, Christopher Kopp, is not enjoying the new Hockenheim so much. So he basically set the calendar for next year to drive on the old Hockenheim circuit again. So FSR 2016, so set your clock right, in 200 days. We will have the old Hockenheim circuit back on the calendar, so that's going to be an awesome venue. Also, which circuits do we have next year? I believe we have Turkey next year.
Yeah, I think we have Istanbul indeed back on the. Ooh, the Walt now spinning on the pit X.
The Walt now doing it like it
man.
should be done. Good job, mate. +1 for trying at least.
No, I think Istanbul indeed returns to the calendar. There were some others as well though. Have a quick think. I doubt Manicourt was back.
Manicourt, I believe it is. Manicourt,
Maybe.
Yeah, I believe the Grand Prix of France.
Which is a relatively nice track as well. But coming back to Interlagos race, I mean, you said it, of course. I mean, opinions differ. That is always the case. But you can surely say that this track, is up there with one of those, those legendary tracks or whatever, and a lot of things have happened here in the past which are stunning, and it's definitely a track which needs to be there on the F1 calendar, also on the FSR calendar, and I think the right word is just, a classic Grand Prix, and that's always nice to have on the calendar.
Indeed, and in my opinion, either you like the circuit or you're a fan of Marc Marquez in MotoGP, I don't know, but it's great to have it again, also in real Formula 1, as you have mentioned. And I believe they have done a major renewal of the pit area. That has been taken underhands dramatically. And it had to be done. I mean, it was really old and old-fashioned, whatever. Fortunately, Thielke wasn't allowed to touch the track, so that's a good thing. Yeah. Imagine that Senna S just being, broken down into a big, 90-degree corner, whatever. 90-degree S. So we are going out for a toilet break, and you are going out for a commercial break. We have a nice Thrustmaster special for you in store. So hope you enjoy this commercial. See you in about 2 minutes. And welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us, obviously, because the most exciting part is about to happen. The start of the race. Hopefully the finish will be as exciting. But first things first. We've mentioned the rain earlier on in the broadcast, and unfortunately for us, it didn't fall down. And maybe for some of these drivers as well. Not for the drivers who are regularly fast and have practiced all their laps in the dry. But you know, it would have been a nice spectacle if I'm honest. We have seen Spa, which was just, you know, entertaining to watch. I'm sure. Do you have any updates on the weather? Our weather forecast man, Jeroen Kweekel.
Well, yeah, I feel more like a weather predictor or whatever, rather than a commentator. Yeah. However, when you look at the okay,
maybe we can tune into the Ron Squire weather report.
Yeah.
You know, or you can put up a fancy dress and look like the Mexican, you know, weather girl. You know, with the ass like that. Oh,
I think I'm just going to do it my way. When we are looking at the radar, obviously those clouds
were way or the highway.
This is such a troll stream. No, but there were some clouds like half an hour ago, obviously. But
are they coming back though? Is there a realistic chance?
There is, during the whole race pretty much, there is a chance that it's going to rain.
Okay.
But I said it before, it's Interlagos, you know, the show can develop really quickly somewhere.
But how many percent are we talking about? 10, 20?
We're talking about 40 to 50% chance of rain during the whole race. However, we have seen days, or I have seen days where I was testing where I predicted 80% and you know, nothing came down. So it's a tough one, and I think it's tough for these drivers as well. You have to look at the clouds a little bit as well. I mean, if it is going to stay really bright as well on the virtual track here, then you know enough. But as soon as it gets dark,
yeah,
and you
the freaky stuff is happening
radar.
when it goes dark. Definitely in Brazil.
Definitely, yep.
I mean, you want to get hijacked? Just drive a fancy old car into Sao Paulo, no problem.
Yep.
Get a gun on your face, doing it the American way. No, we are. Oh, still 3 minutes to go. Oh, I'm getting way too excited to watch this start. Last race of the season, obviously. The championship in WC has already been decided, but I do think that leaves for, you know, nice spectacular racing for tomorrow. That is, I mean, nobody has the feeling like, okay, I cannot, you know, bump into Brilliac because I'm fuzzing up the championship or whatever. But yeah, in here it's basically every guy for himself as well. And I'm really curious to see who will have the best start, who will have the better line to turn one, who will I call Nico Hülkenberg with, you know, Hamilton that one day and crashes someone else into turn one. I don't know, it's all a mystery, and that's the beauty as well. But certainly some things are gonna happen, that's for sure.
Well said, and remember that we also have a champion to be crowned here today. Either Rensklop or Ragusa is going to get it.
Yeah,
we technically have got 3 people or 3 drivers over here being separated by 16 points. So you would say that 3 drivers are yet to you know, make any kind of impact on being a champion. But obviously Daniel Kiss is not here. And so it's a straight fight between Klopp and Ragusa.
No, that would be awesome. Rens would just say, Daniel, you know, just talk to Arjanis Raira. He has some nice dirty tactics to crash someone off and not get penalized. You know, hate me. No, and just you know, do the job. No, but a really fancy teamwork would be, without any stupid Raira jokes, would be the case of obviously Ferrari with Alonso and Massa, where Massa pushed Webber on the outside and Alonso could pass them both. Unfortunately, Vettel wasn't to be stopped that day. I mean, even Senna crashed into Vettel, although I must say it was Vettel's fault basically.
Wait, Senna crashed in Vettel? Oh yeah, Bruno. Course,
yeah, but Vettel just steered in way too early, and you know, Senna couldn't go anywhere. Bono House would say now, oh, Chris, you're such a dirty Senna fan still, but it was actually his fault. But yeah, it's all good, all in the past as well. He became 4 times world champion. Not gonna do it this year, obviously, but I do think Vettel's a really happy man. I really love that guy into the broadcast. Of broadcast and post race and after race interviews, because he trolls more than I do. I mean, you know.
That's something.
Yeah, I mean the podium session as well. I mean, I'm not going to go into it. It's basically boring stuff. What isn't boring, however, for us sim racers, Bono Huis has taught Max Verstappen how to race in a big, a supplier of building materials, whatever. Here in the store, it was a sponsor of Max Verstappen. They had a shootout on F1 2014, and. Well, basically, Bono was into the competition. Mark Alberts as well. We might know him from the past, and Patrick DeWitt as well. And unfortunately, Patrick DeWitt, believe it or not, I'm not making this up. Patrick DeWitt actually crashed with Max Verstappen and became last. Max Verstappen became second, and Bono Huis was first. Got some nice prizes, meet and greet with Max Verstappen, so that's really cool from Bono, who will be driving iRacing, I believe, next year. Going for the big money. I mean, if he's 4 times world champion in iRacing, he can add up like $40,000 into his account.
Yeah, the thing with him is, I think, how much can you still like look for when you have already won so many races and whatnot? Isn't it also nice to just go a different way and try to see whether you are also good in another?
That's why he's
case.
doing iRacing now. Yes, they have laser scanned tracks, but the mod just sucks. You know, so he wanted to have his glory first, and that's the FSR titles, and then he's like, okay, you know, I'm now going for the money.
Are they going to use the 2009 Williams though iRacing next year as well? Because I heard
they're
that
going to use the DRS
the Honda thing. There was a Honda car or
yeah,
whatever,
they're going
McLaren
to do that
Honda.
with DRS and curves.
Okay, yeah. So they are going to update it at least. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the iRacing Williams FW31 either. But we here have rFactor 2, and how nice is that?
I have an issue here, or not really but the drivers might have into the second part of the Senna S, like turn 2. If you go down at turn 1, like Ben Horrell did like 1 minute ago, you knock the Thrustmaster sign, the lovely sponsor sign, just onto the track. And I don't know if you guys remember Greco in Italy 2014, where a tiny little bit of piece of the debris was really, you know, an utterly tiny, small amount of debris lying on the track. Sent his car completely flying Mark Webber, Le Mans style, and had to forfeit. So, you know, imagine a big, you know, plate like that lying onto the track. We're gonna have carnage.
Yeah, and you can also expect the president obviously knocking on your door when you knock over a Thrustmaster sign. I mean,
yeah,
that's not good, you know. Sponsor.
So the drivers are looking into it as well. I mean, a lot of these guys have you know, betted on the rain, I'm sure, but
yeah, it's just meh. Yeah, radar doesn't show anything significant either. Would be nice if we got some rain, but the sun came out once again on this track. I noticed it getting a bit brighter once again, so... Oh well, we have to wait and see. The race isn't 5 minutes. It's a bit longer than that.
So the warm-up times, Rens Klopp is almost doing a 1:11, 1:12.028. Prieto does a 12.3. Maybe Ragusa hasn't shown the back of his tongue yet because he's 6 tenths slower than Klopp, 6.5 tenths almost. So he has to, you know, kick it up a notch. But we are about to start the warm-up lap, where the brakes will be warmed up and the rubber will be cooled down.
Michele says Campus crash. So we have to wait for Campus.
But it would be really unfortunate if we would try to start without Alessio, simply because he is driving from the house of our team leader, boss Ernesto De Angelis, and he practiced a lot. So, there he is.
He's back, yeah.
Okay, Blair Disley is gonna get the most valuable player award, definitely the MVP of today. And well, happily we are here again with Alessio Campos, who is driving out of Ernesto's house simply because, you know, he doesn't want to have any lag, you know, and he's living on a tiny island next to Italy or something, whatever. And they don't really, they don't have any good internet there. Therefore, he traveled to Ernesto's house, you know, got the testing rig up, everything, and you know, just the seeing for the beginning of the race, that would be, you know, in the ballpark, that's for sure.
Luckily, he is here. Who is here as well are 19 other drivers, including then Alessio Campos and Gobby, who will start on pole position. We have seen that, but can Masciuli this time show some incredible pace in the race as well? That's the question. He has shown so over the last couple of races in quali, but can he also translate that speed in the race itself? That is the question. Hodes in third, who I did not expect to see him that high up after Q1, but I guess took advantage of the mistakes others made.
I have a funny thing though, since I'm driving with completely low graphic settings, on the right side of the track, there's just sky, you know. It's epic. It's really epic. But a nice skyline for the city, though. But I want to see some clouds. It's way too blue in the sky. And I want to see rain. I want to see pouring rain that these drivers have to work every inch for their majestic paychecks that they receive in FSR every month. But it's nothing the amount we get paid for doing this bit, Jeroen.
Oh no! I mean, we get paid much more. We also get really big wheels and stuff after every single broadcast. So
wheels?
Yeah, wheels.
So you got wheels?
Chris
Scott just said, "I'll give you 1/3 of a race," and I said, "Deal." I would have done it for 6.
No,
you know,
I didn't get a wheel.
Ah, fuck, man. I have to get back on that.
I got a turtle as well.
Nevertheless, my humor seems to be dried up since the start of the season as well. I can already hear Sam Jones said you were never funny, mate. Nevertheless, we are gonna do this one more time in ACE this year. What a racing season it has been, and what a race it's going to be for some of these drivers. Rens Klopp obviously starting 6th behind his rival Daniel Ricciardo Ragusa, and I call him that because he's smiling just like Ricciardo on Facebook. I mean, every picture there is just a smile of pure happiness and joy. Nevertheless, hopefully he will be as happy in about 1.5 hours time, or will it be the Dutch guy Klopp?
Sorry, Hodes. What is Hodes doing? Hodes is in the 2nd sector at the moment. He should be in 3rd, but he's driving in the 2nd sector.
Where are you, Hodes? What the hell?
Yep, 3rd place Hodes.
What have you done, Martin?
2nd sector. Gobby has lined himself up already. Godek and Eros Masciuli are coming here right now as well. It's 57 laps today, but Hodes...
Look at him!
He's coming. Here he is.
There he is, okay. What a guy.
Yeah, he stopped in the Senna S's is what our cameraman Sam Jones is reporting. Look at this. He's going to find his grid slot, I can tell you that.
That's awesome.
And
GG,
there
well
he goes.
played, Martin Hodes. GG.
So here we go, waiting for those lights to come on.
Yeah, take us through it.
Here we go, then one more race this season with 4 lights already, 5 lights right now, and the final race of the season is go time. Oh, a good start from Hodes, and the leader Gobby having a very poor start. It's Eros Masciuli going into turn 1 side by side, and there's contact, I think, a little bit in the middle of the corner, and two cars are spinning, and a chain reaction. Here we go.
And he collects Ragusa as well. Ragusa is right in the middle. He has a car on top. Might have been a fatal crash as well for Ragusa. Holy moly. And wow. That's basically race done for Ragusa. And what has happened to Klopp? Did he manage to get unscathed out of that everything?
Yeah, I think so. Klopp is in
No, he didn't get unscathed though. He has some damage as well. He definitely has damage, but not the amount of damage that Ragusa has. But holy, what a crash! I mean, George Chespodankulis, whatever. He started from the pit lane.
Yep.
And he goes out of the pit in P11. He comes
George
out of the
is
pit
fourth.
With a pit lane start, he's fourth at the moment. Holy moly!
It is unbelievable. It happened right at the front. I think it was for second place. There was, I think, a Go Speed car in followed. It was for second place. And because it is right on the apex of the corner, a lot of cars have been involved. Mitch is driving without a front wing. He's gonna have to pit as well. Gobby in the meantime has DNF'd, straight away pressed escape and quit it. But what a start that is, and Marshuli leads after one lap, and De Walt now also overtakes. De Walt now's up into P7.
Yeah, definitely a wet dream for De Walt here come true as well. And Horrell can, ride home as well. Like, Mom, get the camera on P8. But there's still a lot of debris in turn 1 and 2. And look at that pit stop of Marek Godek there. Together with Preto, with Heesterbeek, and everybody's basically coming in, including Hoyer. And another Ghost Speed car of, Eventa car of Hodas, whatever. That definitely shook some things up. Ruud Heesterbeek is our second retirement after Gobby indeed. But I think that, Ragusa, he has got himself a lot of damage. I guarantee you he is having a lot of damage. And he's trying to dive up the inside of Timo Valkyrjärvi at the moment. What is the scenario, basically? If Klopp, what's the distance in points that he
has got a 16-point gap over Ragusa, so it is still quite a bit.
Oh, and here crashes again. Hopefully I'm wrong. Oh no, it's Prieto who is off the track. Driving without a front wing isn't a smart idea as well. No, those Ghost Speed cars can never deliver any good drivers.
And Ragusa is fighting back at the moment, side by side with Timo Valkyrjärvi. Ragusa gets the move done on the outside of the second corner, which is rather impressive. And you mentioned, Chris, he is driving with definitely some damage. His wheel is slightly pointing to the left hand side as well while going straight. He finds himself in 10th behind Alessio Campos. And the race has not been red flagged at the moment. That is also
true,
quite an interesting one.
It's not going to be, because otherwise we should have done it after lap 2, I believe. Yeah. Nevertheless, Ragusa, this is really awesome to see, if I'm honest, because he really has to go. He has nothing to lose, He has to win this race, and he has to do everything in order to get past this Networks car and to find his way back to the pack. But what an unfortunate race start for some of these guys, and it all happens because two guys collide.
Definitely.
And at those speeds, even if you're at 0 in 2 seconds, there's no room to escape, or there's no more room to brake on the track, and you basically have to live with consequences. When I was on board with Ragusa when the crash happened, he literally had a car on top of him. Insane. He's now diving up the inside of the young Alessio Campos. Can he do this though? Two Italians underneath each other, and Alessio Campos gives him so much room you could fit, I don't know, Syrian refugees in it, I don't know. Here he goes again, Ragusa not really under pressure by Timo Valkyrjärvi, but Alessio is. Alessio has got the better line on the outside, but maybe a little bit of a draft can be created here. No, that's not gonna happen. And back to the leaders of this race, I should say, because we're taking a big look at Ragusa, but at the moment it's just the leaders who are just driving away and finding their groove. Pointless to say, already 6 seconds clear between Masciuli and Gergis. So Paschalis has to step up a little bit in order to maybe catch those guys, but those Italians, they're really fast, especially around 7 o'clock. They have dinner and everything, they're ready to go.
There's again some rain, Chris. There's again some rain forming around the track. It's a little bit in the northern part of Sao Paulo where the rain is.
Oh, nice.
The track lies southern, but you can see once again it has gone a little bit darker than on the track. You can definitely see that as Campos is again under pressure from Valkyrjärvi. Go ahead.
No! Roberto Fernandez loses it in the middle of the corner. You can see him here driving onto straight behind that twister car. and he just spins. And pointless to say, in the car of Chris de Jong. We haven't seen that in a year. Well, unfortunate for him, he was like P7 or something. He did tremendously great. This leaves the rest to climb up another spot. But you know, that's a driver incident. Fortunately, he didn't took anyone with him, and that's the biggest part I'm happy about.
Yeah, he was in
unfortunately
6.
for him.
And so de Walt Neltek's now 6. I mean, de Walt is having almost the race of his life,
Yeah.
I would say.
Dream is
having a
getting
good
wetter
time.
and wetter.
Yeah, behind Klopp at the moment as well. Klopp is still 5th, behind Shatsi Pantelis, who, yeah, is 4th after that pit lane start. Can you believe it?
Cheats. No, joking.
Wangler.exe, I think.
No, but it was really when he exited the pits, he was already P11,
Yeah,
and then
true.
more chaos happened and whatever. So it's really, really obnoxious start, but nevertheless, completely legit. So good job from him. Maybe this was the part why this was the exact same reason why David Cook started from the pits when he qualified 6th or 7th. No, he was like, nah, I can get P4 with a pit lane start, no problem.
So Alessandro at the moment is able to match Eros Masciuli, our leader of course. It's 2.6 seconds still, so those two are really consistently lapping close to each other. Pascales in 3rd, you mentioned it Chris, who is also doing a nice job. I mean, he is slightly quicker than the guys in front of him, but he is 6 seconds down already, is the biggest problem for him at the moment. Yeah. And here goes Klopp on the inside of George Shatsi Pantelis into turn 1, and Klopp takes that position, no problems whatsoever. Shatsi Pantelis looks a bit wiggly on the exit and is able to keep it. Klopp up into 4th.
And there's still debris lying in turns 1 and 2. Should be cleaned after like 1 lap.
It's clean
Maybe
over
the
here.
marshals are a little bit lazy here.
It's clean on my screen. Don't see.
And maybe it's my low graphic setting. Nevertheless, Michele Di Alessandro is 2.4 seconds away from Masciuli, who isn't driving away that much. Just a couple of tenths each lap, 1 or 2. Rance Club now, he doesn't need a win. If he can stay in front of Ragusa, it's always good. But now, even if Ragusa wins this race now, with Klopp finishing 4th, it's not going to be enough. So if Ragusa wins this race, Klopp can be P5 and still win the championship. Or like Jean Todt said, the championship. But winning will be hard with a damaged car and almost 10 seconds behind Masciuli, who is just in a league of his own. Don't think he sustained any damage from that lap 1 incident. But nevertheless, here we are. Ragusa now.
Shatsi Pantelis spins. Shatsi Pantelis spins. He drops back to P7, all the way to P7 for Shatsi Pantelis. That's a shame for him.
Yeah, definitely an uncommon mistake. I mean, the corner is a little bit downhill, but you know, maybe he messed around with a little bit of a lateral setting there in his car.
Yeah, a little bit overspeed into the corner, and at the time then when you turn in, the rear end can easily snap. As I said, especially if you overspeed the corner entry, which is probably what happened. Luckily he could get himself out of the way though, wasn't stationary on the racing line. And Ben Hoyle is in 6th as well. De Walt now up into 5th right now after that incident or that spin from Shatsi Pantelis.
And Hodas still driving along with 2 laps down. That's commitment right there for those points. So 15 drivers remaining out of a 19 driver grid. And slowly but steadily, Rance Club is making his way up to Pascales Gergis and trying to relieve him from that 3rd position, which I'm sure that Pascales will not give up easily, championship or not. That's the psychological bit as well. Club still has to finish, and you know, he can't take as much risk than Ragusa can take. On the other hand, you can say, yeah, whatever, you can use the pressure as well. You don't want to be the driver to crash the other guy out, but yes, you know, if you're fighting for a podium and you know you can save your season a little bit, or you fight for the championship, it's a big difference. Don't know if it goes through Klopp his mind though when he makes an overtaking maneuver like this, but I'm sure he screamed his lungs out during that start of the race.
Maybe some others did as well.
Hmm?
Maybe some others did as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
crazy start.
I think there's not a single car here that's driving without damage at the moment, but there we go.
Yeah, no, not the people who started from that pit lane, of course.
Yeah, oh no, definitely, that's what's completely worth.
Have we ever seen such an OP pit lane start?
Well, we have not, but you know, Judge Pantelis, whatever. I just call him Tsatsiki. He will go to the pit now, but he also spinned. And he is going to drop down the order, but he is going to go out on track with fresh tires.
Fresh softs, in fact. Jossi Pantelis goes on the pit exit over here. Currently in 12th place. Is not going to be 13th, I don't believe. Mitchie Hoyer comes right around the corner. But Jossi Pantelis has got the margin he needs to come out. Oh! That was not smart, Jossi Pantelis, crossing the pit exit line. That was very clear that he did that.
Last race, who cares? Huh? He doesn't.
Nope, definitely not.
Yeah, like in the back of the day in the Formula 1 you would have gotten a drive-through penalty for that, and now you would get 5 seconds added up to your race time. I have an unfortunate FSR record for that, and people are saying, Chris, do you have an FSR record? I think I do. I cut at the white line 4 or 5 times in Monaco 2013 WC. Typical De Jong there.
It's typical De Jong, yeah, definitely.
No, but it is shameful, but it's so tidy there.
Nice side-by-side action. Unless you're Campus and
Mike what's happening there with Campus here? Campus is getting the hunt on Francesconi behind that, but Victor Ivanov as well. We almost got a 3 wide here. Alessio Campus showing the white line, and whoa, Victor Ivanov didn't seem to notice Francesconi there, who's going on the outside and he spins. Oh, suckles. Oh, what happened there? I mean, basically everything was fine until Francesconi got onto the dirty side of Francesconi was on the dirty side of the track, slided off, made contact with Campus, who was still alongside, and then Victor Ivanov wasn't able to avoid any carnage again. Typical racing incident there, I have to say. But that was a racing incident right there. Going onto the grass, making a spin for it. That means that Victor Ivanov has to go into the pit to replace his front wing, because his front wing is still lying down in turn 4. Fortunately for these guys, they noticed that Victor has a problem. Campos still has his wing intact, but most likely has sustained a little bit of damage as well.
Yeah, you would say so. Yeah, definitely front left wing end plate is gone for him. As Ben Hoyle is right now behind. Ben Hoyle is on new tires, by the way. He just pitted. In case you're wondering, it are medium tires for him. So Alessio Campos once again straight away under pressure from another driver. This is for 12th position at the moment. Oh, and Campos! Oh! Lost the rear end on the entry of the double right-hander over there. Yeah, just overspeeding, hitting the curb.
No, he short shifted, or he shifted one time too many. He went from 6th gear to 5th to 2nd.
Good point.
Whoa.
Well spotted.
Whoa. Fortunately, his engine didn't blow. But Campus just shifting literally from 6th to 2nd gear, or 5th and then 2nd. Wow, what are we seeing here? Like, these guys need a break, They don't even have to physically travel to the circuits. They're all tired from driving, it seems now. I mean, it's just unfortunate for these guys. Let's put it like that.
Goes on pit exit over here, straight away under pressure from a Ghost Speed car over there. It's Merrick Godek, as Ragusa is then on fresh soft tires here after 12 laps.
And in all of the chaos, at least I didn't see Paschalis Gergis pit, but he surely did. He's back on track with fresh soft tires. Did Klopp pit already? No, he did not. So
pretty clever from Paschalis, boy, going for a bit of an undercut here.
Yeah, he was already third, but now Klopp has to follow.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Maybe he can attack the leaders as well over the course of this stint, perhaps if he has enough of an advantage. However, lap, what was it, 11, 12, is relatively early. You don't know how long Marciuli and D'Alessandro are still going to stay out, of course. Maybe they are looking for a slightly longer stint than Paschalis. And the walled pit entry is what race director Blair Disley says to me. Something happened with the Wald now on the pit entry. Oh, the Wald now has lost the car on pit entry while slowing it down for the pit entry line and activating the pit limiter. Then also overshot his pit box, I think. Yep, also overshot his pit box. And a horror stop for the Wald now.
Definitely so, and like I said a minute ago, these drivers definitely need a vacation here. It's really epic. Then overshooting his pit box, doing it into reverse 2 times in a row, 3 times even. Oh. And he puts on medium tires.
It's getting very cloudy once again. And the Wald now is off and out.
Tina.
The Wald now is done. What happened to the Wald now there? Turn 10 just went off. Knew it was enough, knew it was time. Just parked his car alongside the road. As Francesconi is also in pit lane over here. We are seeing quite a lot of action. Fabrizio Gobbi in the meantime has rejoined the race.
Well, there he goes.
An interesting one.
He's only 14 laps down. That was really unfortunate for the Wald now. I mean, he was in maybe even if he got really lucky, a podium scoring position. But fate has decided otherwise. In the meantime, Eros Masudi is just driving in front of Michele D'Alessandro. These guys are just fighting in a league of their own, and they're just like, making it a really tense and strategic race. But that's not the way things are looking at the moment. Rens Klopp is showing second now on my computer.
Yeah, that's right, because D'Alessandro is in the pit
lane.
lane.
Yeah, there we go.
So Alessandro medium. Now we're going to see what Paschalis has gone up to in terms of performance and
can he
placement.
Go? Well, he's almost cutting underneath the Alessandro. He's not going to get him though.
But he got definitely closer.
Yeah,
this is maybe the kind of momentum he now needs as well. Trying to get within the DRS, perhaps push a little bit on these tires, maybe take some performance away, but stay close to D'Alessandro, who obviously is on newer tires. But perhaps he can put him under a little bit of pressure over the course of this stint. Bear in mind that D'Alessandro is also on the medium tire and George is on the softer tire. So when is Marciuli going to pit? You would say he's going to respond this lap. His pit light is not on though. So he's not coming in this lap. He's in fact going to stay out for another one, you would say. He had a 2.3 second gap to D'Alessandro when he pitted. So he hasn't got the biggest margin ever. We have seen what kind
Kodak
of...
out.
Yep, Kodak out. Well, what happened there then? Pit exit? Pit exit. He did it the Wald now.
Well, that's really unfortunate, and a lot of these crashes I just cannot, figure out. I mean, the pit exit, are you serious? That's not what we are used to see from Godek. I mean, we're used to see him crash someone else in later stages of the race. Now that's just pure fun, because he's a really fast driver, just a little bit uncontrolled aggressive in some scenarios. I mean, sorry, but that's my impression. And this is a perfect example of that. DNFs on the pit exit. Rens Klopp has got his pit light on though. and he will go into the pit after this lap, I'm sure.
Machiuli hasn't got his pit light on still.
True.
Staying out. I was talking about the gap, 2.3 seconds. We saw what kind of...
Well, maybe he can extend this stint for
Perhaps.
2-3 laps longer, and then he would be the guy with the advantage in the end.
That's true. He needs to make sure that, unless he makes a pit stop last, of course, he doesn't want to come out behind Alessandro. Klopp in the pit lane then. Let's have a look at that. Medium tires for him. All safe and sound. And coming out quite a way behind Alessandro and Georgius. They have already flew by. And Klopp is still in the pit lane.
And this is the difference then,
right
because
now.
it was 2 or 3 seconds between Georgius and Klopp. That's gonna be extended by, well, at least 5 seconds.
That is a lot more than 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see here. 8 seconds it is, 8.5 seconds between Georgius and Klopp. As long as Klopp is just driving in front of Ragusa, I think he cannot care less about everything else. I mean, he just has to seal up the championship. And obviously will win a fancy free license for WC next year. And he just has to look into David Greco's eyes and, you know, give him a sweet look like, I can do this, give me a chance. And I'm sure he can. I mean, definitely up to par with some WC drivers. Wouldn't say the level of Brilliak and Patel, but then again, who are this year? Even Patel cannot match Brilliak, couldn't match Brilliak this year, only at certain occasions. But nevertheless, those guys are aliens.
Here
So
we
are
go
you,
then.
Jeroen. So are you.
No,
You're
no,
also
no.
an alien.
No. It's the... You are realistic, you are honest, so that's good.
Yeah, but I wasn't joking. You're a fast guy as well. You want to race this year, yeah.
Yeah, but needs to be better. However,
And
Machiuli
Machiuli-
indeed went into the pit lane and rejoined in Prix. So indeed behind those two guys, after staying out for a little bit longer. He went on the option though, and this is going to be a freeway battle for the lead. I can tell you that, because Machiuli with those fresh tires, I see him closing up to this group and then make it a freeway battle.
Nice three-way set by Jeroen Kweekel. Okay, let's see what the guys will deliver for us, because Eros doesn't need to, you know, go past these guys in terms of, you know, tire degradation, but I think he inevitably has to, because he's gonna catch up to these guys. Paschalis already has a little bit of trouble catching up with Michele on, you know, fresher tires. Michele has fresher tires, but he has medium compounds, and Paschalis has softs. So they are gonna wear off a little bit faster as well, and Eros behind that is having the freshest of them all, with softs indeed. And I think Eros is pretty controlled and steady. I don't see him over push too much. He's really controlled and ready to, you know, take a tactical approach to this race, I believe.
Hodes is a back marker over here, needs to get out
Yep.
of the way of the Alessandro, and does so nicely. Then Georgius flies by as well, and Eros Machiuli.
Yeah, well, let's see about that. And he has to lift so bad. Machiuli definitely lost half a second or maybe a second there. Nevertheless, Hodas did a nice job going out of the way. 3 laps down at the moment. Not what we are used to see from Hodas, but nevertheless he had that crash at the start of the race. Or that was Hoyer as well. I always get those guys confused. Yeah, I believe it was Hoyer. Doesn't matter now. All the water under the bridge. These drivers are focusing on the middle stint of the race. We are in lap 21 now, and we are still looking forward to 37 more laps of racing. But first, we will have a FSR first for you. It's gonna be Ron Squire with the weather report. Come on in, Ron. And you hear crickets chirping. No, it's but without a pun being made there. Is there still a little bit of chance?
Yeah, there a lot of
increased?
rain. I can tell you, a lot of rain just literally passed by the track, like about a few kilometers north of the track. The rain is stationary around the northern part of Sao Paulo. As I said, we are in the southern part. It got really cloudy a few minutes ago, I presume that is that shower, which really was really close. It was really close to the track. But that cleared away right now as well, or it is starting to clear away. But it is, not. It didn't head for the track. It just got by. But it was a rather close one. Maybe in a few laps time there's another one developing, and it is going to hit the track. But it would be so nice to have it.
Yeah, just a splatter of rain there, and then
right,
the middle pack being just in front of the pit entry, that they can switch to the tires, and the leaders of the race have to struggle on the rain with mediums, which is practically impossible. Trust me, if you're on the wet track with soft tires, without any dry lines or whatever, it's impossible to drive a car there. You'll definitely lose like what 10 or 20 seconds a lap.
Yeah,
if you don't have rain tires on.
Definitely. And Klopp is doing it at the moment in that 4th place. Obviously a good job in terms of championship. He's also catching up slightly to the leader, Michele D'Alessandro. They are both on the medium tire. And Klopp, remember that he still has got some damage. He definitely did not repair his front wing end plate during his pit stop, and why would he? It takes a little bit too much time, and perhaps it's not worth the effort. But he is doing a solid job at the moment, 11.8. Leader is doing 112.1, so about 3/10 a lap he is gaining at the moment on D'Alessandro. And George is obviously putting pressure on D'Alessandro. He has got DRS the whole time, but he's just not close enough. Visually you can see the gap is reasonably big. 7/10 in fact, crossing the line over here, 6.5/10, and it's too much. And Paschalis, yeah, he needs to force D'Alessandro into a mistake or do something himself.
Well said.
It's pretty difficult.
No, it doesn't seem that Masciuli is pushing so hard, like I said earlier. But then again, I'm a little bit doubting his decision to go on to softs, because if he's going to stick behind them anyway, then why not go to mediums and have a little bit of a lower rate in terms of degradation? Well, I don't know the answer to that question, but he is really close to Gergis right now. And I just mean with that, if he's going to stay behind these guys, he's just going to ruin his stints with softs. That's my point.
And Paschalis is losing connection to D'Alessandro because of this lap. Made a mistake in the second sector somewhere. In fact, Georges is outside of the DRS.
There goes Gergis, huh? Masciuli is going on Gergis. Definitely that's going to happen. Gergis has to go defensive now or don't do it at all. And indeed he is choosing the middle line of the circuit. Eros is on the outside. He is in front though, but nice braking from Gergis. Leaves room on the outside as well. But brilliant defending here from Paschalis. That's the way you should do it. Take a note, guys. Such a brilliant corner here, turn 1. You have a nice run up to it, like a 15 seconds of full throttle moment there until the last corner and turn 1, and then you can just line yourself up on the outside or the inside. But if you are doing it from the outside, then you have to make sure you're alongside during the entry, because after that, the outside becomes the inside and you can do it.
Again,
let's see here, Michele is really driving away now.
Yeah, he is. Paschalis is starting to struggle a little bit, I believe.
And where Masciuli was leading comfortably with 2.5 seconds before the pit stops, he decided to extend his stints with, I believe, 2 or 3 more laps. I believe 3.
Yeah, compared to Paschalis it was like 6
yeah,
more
now
laps.
he's a flyer. So here goes Eros again. Paschalis going defensive.
He's taking a different line. Yep.
Well, maybe he can have a better exit here.
Good. This is very good. He'll pick up the DRS once again. He's definitely going to have a shot into turn 4 over here. Paschalis obviously defending the inside line, and Paschalis having reasonably well set up straight line speed. Masciuli tries to go around the outside though, and then contact a little bit, but Masciuli makes it stick around the outside. And
no. I think Masciuli should give that place back. Definitely. I mean, he almost hit it with Gergis off. He didn't leave enough room, and he just steered in on the outside. That was really cheeky from Masciuli. And I think that's gaining a position with causing a collision.
And managed to make it stick around the outside. Contact was indeed made, as you have said, Chris.
But that was not fair, in my opinion. And that was not fair to Gergis. However, he is passed, and it doesn't seem likely that he is going to step onto the brake to let Gergis pass again. Michele the other has DRS now from a back marker.
Well, Jared just straight away pits.
Ooh, Ben Harrell, what's the guy's name? Ben
Horrell.
Horrell, almost driving without sense and crashing Michele. No joking. It was a scary moment there onto the straight. Horrell going off track, and has to watch out rejoining the track indeed. Does it sensibly. Anxious moments though, and a lot of these moments have already happened. We have had 6 retirements now. Yeah, 6 retirements, and a lot of these drivers driving with damage that I can guarantee. And but you know who will have the most damage? Who will have the most uncontrollable damage? I mean, it's all a guess. A lot of these drivers have had to make a new front wing pit stop happen. So. And for Ragusa, it's basically lights out in terms of championship. He's driving at P8. I believe he just made a pit stop. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
So only like 17 seconds you lose on a pit stop here. That's pretty nice.
Ragusa is pressuring Mitchie for at the moment, the German, who was driving, I believe, with a front wing, of course, after the first couple of corners. We all know about that incident. Is Ragusa close enough, though, to make a move in over here on the German? I doubt he is. DRS will be flicked open over here. Here we go. Opening up another lap. We're about halfway, and it's indeed
Leroy
a little bit too far.
That would be something. Michi Hoyer doesn't even have to defend right there, but you know, maybe here if he has a really nice draft, but seems to be a little bit too far as well.
It is too far.
Getting caught onto that dirty air as well. You just see him going onto the throttle and like, oh shit, the dirty air, I still can't. Fortunately, it's not as bad as it was in the beginning of 2014, which was just driving behind a brick wall. Ooh, and it seems like Ragusa can have a shot in here. He is diving onto the inside, and Hoyer definitely has to defend that. You know, if you leave your gap open right there, then you know, you basically ask people to dive in. Ragusa's really close now, definitely way closer than he was the other time around, and I think Hoyer is forced to have take a defensive line right here. Ooh, what are they doing? Hoyer on the inside, Ragusa on the outside here, and Hoyer is not really defending that much. It's just the tires that are completely new on Ragusa's side as well that's playing a huge advantage part. So Ragusa back to P7. He is 42 seconds behind the leader of this race, and more importantly, he is, you know, 35 seconds behind Klopp. So unless, you know, even if Klopp DNFs, I mean, Ragusa would still have to make up 5 places. Still needs a second place or first if Klopp DNFs. So Klopp now straight past Gergis. That was the other way around 10 laps ago, but you know, that's how much can happen in 10 laps time. Klopp now making his way up to Eros Mashoudi, but that's going to be a hard job to do indeed, with 6 seconds distance in between those guys. So it's going to be an Italian fight here. Who will take the bragging rights? Who will take the last win of the season? I mean, we are halfway this race. Exactly halfway, but yeah, I think that Michele and Eros are just a little bit too far ahead for Klopp to make life difficult for them. But you know, we shall see what's going to happen. I mean, a little bit of contact here and there, you know, like we have
a bit
seen
of rain here and there.
Yeah, oh, that would be fantastic. That would
Sorry
make
to
my
hype it
day.
up again, but
No,
would
I
make it,
want
make
it
it
to rain.
fantastic. Yeah,
No,
of course.
Bill now is free now, so he can do a rain dance again.
Yep.
Didn't work last time around, but then again. His driving didn't work out today, so maybe a rain dance will work. Really unfortunate though, what, would be so awesome. The Walt now on P3, no problem, Kappa.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you have some of these drivers who will get opportunities when something at the front happens. Imagine George Chatzipantelis, of course, as well.
I scored a podium as well, one.
Yeah.
So anything can happen, if I can do it, you can do it as well.
Sometimes you just need to capitalize on it. Unfortunately though, we haven't seen George really capitalizing. He's dropped down to P9. We haven't really seen capitalizing the Walt now either. And in the meantime, Ben Hoyer, who was behind the Walt now in 6th or 7th or whatever, also dropped to P11. So it's pretty much the usual suspects in front. Although having said that, of course, Gobby goes missing after the retirement. Glodek is missing as well after the retirement. So, well, of course, because
all
of
ruined.
that, also all of that first lap.
Ragusa behind Francesconi, and he's really anxious to get by. He's like, either I win this championship or not. I want to get by. He's gonna do it here. I think he will dive into a little bit of defensive driving from Francesconi as well. Better exit here from Ragusa though. He can line himself up perfectly now. Has to lift through this corner because of the dirty air. And here he makes his way up to the final corner here. Early onto the throttle, that's what you want. He's already climbing towards him also because of the draft. But he could have, and he actually did go onto the throttle a little bit earlier than Francesconi. Francesconi going into the pit, chickening out, or just, doing a strategical move there. But nevertheless, Ragusa back to P6.
Masciuli in the meantime within the DRS range of Michele D'Alessandro. Battle for the lead. Michele still on the medium tire, of course, Eros Masciuli on the softer one. Klopp in the meantime 6.9 seconds behind, so definitely gaining time. About 3/10 per lap still on our leader. Maybe, just maybe, he will be able to come to the back of this pack here, the two leaders. However, 27 laps to go, he needs something special as well. That was Masciuli trying to put some pressure over there, obviously. Had DRS that time round, and instantly the gap is only down to half a second for Masciuli, and he will get DRS over here as well. But then the question is, where are you going to do it? You would say the DRS zone, perhaps into the first corner. That is the main overtaking spot around this track. But has Masciuli got the straight line speed, or is Michele D'Alessandro superior to him in terms of
I think
straight line speed?
in terms of tire degradation, I'd rather be on the tires of Alessandro than of Masciuli's at the moment. Those soft tires are already 10-11 laps old from Masciuli, and from Alessandro, they've degraded a little bit less, I think. But he did make a stop Masciuli 3 laps later, but yeah.
Yeah, they are about 12-13 laps right now. So
Masciuli now,
slide there.
yeah, his tire life is about to end. And if he, honestly, if he covered off his pit stop, then none of this would have happened. He would have just come back out in front, and he could have driven away with his soft tires back then. But at least he's making it really exciting for us. Have to give him that.
Hitting the rev limiter over there, can't get by.
Jesus. Already with the, a few more laps to go, so to speak. I mean, if your rev limiter revs out, at the end of the race when your fuel tank is next to empty, okay, but this is not looking promising. Use DRS. Ooh, and there's a failure of Michele D'Alessandro. Goes off to the track, doesn't spin, but loses 1.5 until 2 seconds, and that's well enough for Masciuli to take his advantage. This is what he has been waiting for, and he is back into the lead. And I'm sure that Michele is screaming right now like porco dio and noem het maar op. And, he can really be frustrated about this one, because this is the driver errors that you don't want to see of yourself. Definitely not if you're in such a good flow. I mean, Masciuli instantly driving off. Maybe Alessandro can do the same thing again as he did last time around and just go into the pits.
Hasn't got his pit light on, however. Hasn't got his pit light on, however.
True, he doesn't have it on, but maybe he's trying to do one more stop after this and just tries to pit in like 5 laps time.
Yeah.
go back onto the medium compound. It's a short lap here, not really that demanding if you know, aren't over pushing your tires. So.
Oh, Shotzi Pottel is again
Yeah.
crossing the pit exit. Oh, you saw this well? Okay. Ooh, okay. What?
Oh, and
Oh! Okay.
Oh!
That's one way to get out of the way.
The back marker trauma again. Michele Di Alessandro, first race of the season. He was in second position when some retard spinned in front of him, tried to do donuts onto the track with 3 wheels, and Michele Di Alessandro couldn't avoid him anymore, and you know, he lost his second place podium position because of a crashing back marker. Last race of the season, well, you just saw it 30 seconds ago. Almost deja vu for Michele here, and yeah, that's really messed up right there. So Michele now going into the pit. He sees Masudi disappearing onto the horizon, already out of DRS range, and he's going to continue one more lap though. Continue one more lap, so 22 laps to go after that. Will he do one stop? Is it possible though, Jeroen? 25 laps remaining 22 laps on medium compounds? Remember 60 liters, 70
Yeah,
liters?
it is obviously a low.
Yeah.
I think it's still a tough one.
Yeah, you just have to calm your tits and your right foot, right?
Yeah, you would have to be very careful with the throttle inputs and whatnot. It's I think all tires wear out pretty equal to each other. It's the front left which is taking a little bit more pressure than other tires, especially in a double right-hander in the second sector. But overall they are pretty equal. However, 22 laps on the medium, it's quite a demanding task. I don't say it is impossible, but as you have said, Chris, you definitely need to calm your tits with that right pedal.
Yeah, well, let's see what Michele can do. He's going into the pit right now. Last lap round he did lose 2 more tenths. So let's see. Oh no, he's not going into the pit again.
Oh, he's Chansey Pantelis as well, trying to unlap himself. He's going to do it.
Idiot! What an idiot, seriously. You don't just do that, you know. But he's driving away instantly as well. What the hell is this? Did he load Wangler extra? Here, he's just 2 seconds gone.
Yeah, he is indeed absolutely gone. Bear in mind though, he just got fresh tires. I mean, he went right on the pit exit.
But that doesn't give you a top speed of
way.
350. Okay, it wasn't 350, but still. Wow, showing some balls there then, but yeah.
It's a risky one.
I'm sure Michele isn't really happy about that. I still remember Hamilton and Vettel in Germany when Hamilton was 1 lap down pitted and then just challenged Vettel, who was driving into the lead, I believe.
So when is Michele then going to pit?
I don't know, I think he will do it now. I mean, he drove straight onwards 2 laps in a row. Rieke Scheepsrecht. Yep,
yes.
There he goes, 3 times. That's Sugana. And not doing a DeWalt Nel for him. Good job. No pun intended, obviously. I mean, really find it sorry for you that you DNF DeWalt if you hear this. Our cute little South African bear, right, Jeroen?
Could he do a rain dance perhaps? Or is he already doing it?
He should. We need rain. Just need a little bit of that wet stuff to go onto the tarmac. That will send everyone spinning and dancing. I mean, that would be amazing. So Michele going back onto medium compound tires. He is aiming to finish the race, I believe, 21 laps. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? You're not going to do 10 laps on medium compound tires. Definitely not on a short track like this. That leaves Paschalis back into, well, momentarily P3, because that is gonna change back to, well, I should say normal. Paschalis also won races this year. It's normal that he's driving in front, but he's gonna drop back once he made his pit stop. Last retirement still Marek Golik in lap 15, so we have gone 21 laps without a retirement. That's for the good as for the better as well, because last time around it was Michele who already almost got crashed by a back marker named, I believe, Ben Horror, whatever. Or was it George? Doesn't matter anyway. Ragusa now still in P5, but that's the furthest he's gonna go. Maybe if Paschalis pits and he can catch up a little bit, but yeah, 42 seconds behind the lead still. So he has got the pace of the leader because it was 42 seconds like 10 laps ago. But he just doesn't have the luck. I mean, lap 1 with the car parked on top of him in turn 3, lap 1 was just horrible.
Hey Chris.
Yeah.
Watch the leader. Okay, never mind. Shachi Pantelis behind Mashuli was really close.
Wow. Oh yeah, he's drifting all over his place.
Yeah, exactly. In turn 10, he needs to be careful. If he brakes too late over there, he cannot take leader out. He spun again.
Maybe he just wants to have the retard award his last season ending race. I mean, in FSR we do make trophies, particularly for the WC as well. I don't know for Ace, but for WC you get a big ass trophy when you win the championship. Also you get a big wallet full of cash. On request I can send you a retard award, that's all. Just a certificate that says retard of the year. So not really worth, but yeah, definitely a moment from George Chatsmanatelis, whatever. That was, a little bit anxious. I mean, I call that dangerous driving.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Mashuli went into the pit lane. Michele Alessandro right behind him.
And Paschalis leading the race. Go Prix.
Paschalis indeed leading. Here we go. So Mashuli and Klopp went both into the pit lane. Mashuli on the medium, Klopp on the soft. Which is interesting. He's gonna do 20
finish as well, I think.
20 laps on the soft, maybe. 19 laps on the
rough
soft.
Challenge.
Nonetheless, though, Paschalis, here we go. Paschalis obviously on all tires now. What can Mashuli do? What can D'Alessandro do? Can D'Alessandro, capitalize somewhere maybe on Mashuli? Although Mashuli is obviously looking himself to attack as well on that ACR car.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Obviously, Mashuli will get DRS and Alessandro will get DRS as well, but he has a poor exit. The Alessandro still gets DRS, but he lost definitely a half second there. And Paschalis is not going into the pit, but choosing a really weird line. Yeah,
trying to get Mashuli out of his slipstream.
Yeah, well, I really think it's a nice job that Paschalis is fighting for this. This is what we want to see, Pash.
Pash,
go Pash.
Here goes Pash.
Make life hard for that Italian. Well. But he is on the outside now with DRS. This is gonna be the decisive. Eros has to leave more space, and he is doing so. This is the line you want to see, and maybe it's the outside line that's a little bit, off target, but nevertheless they're still alongside. The outside becomes the inside now. Michele is on the inside. What a move! The move of the year from the Alessandro there. Mamma mia, Michele di Alessandro, fantastico, bellissimo.
I said it last lap, maybe the Alessandro can capitalize somewhere. Paschalis and Eros going side by side into there, and Alessandro saying thank you very much to Eros Mashuli and taking a different line. And now immediately can start to attack on Paschalis' jerseys as well. But what a fantastic move from Alessandro, that takes some balls.
Yeah, definitely, that's definitely the move of the day. And he didn't do it unintentionally. He intentionally braked a little bit early and thought, okay, I'm gonna go for the inside. But here is Michele now on Paschalis. Can he do what Mashuli didn't do? Mashuli obviously has the top speed that's a little bit lower, and Alessandro has it a little bit higher, and he is doing so fantastically. And more fantastically for the Alessandro, Mashuli is still behind the Gergis. So he basically has to do it here. Mashuli has to make a move stick. And it's so close there. It's so close between the three of them. The Alessandro losing out there because he doesn't have DRS and the two guys behind him do. So now it's, twisty turvy bit that the Alessandro will have the advantage of the clean air. There's a back marker, joking. That would be something for Michele. So keep it together, Michele, and do your job. Remember, the last time he lost the lead, it was...
Here goes Mashuli! Inside of turn 10.
Whoa.
Good move.
That's a clean dive bomb.
Yep.
And who's there? It's George.
It's Ivanov.
Oh well,
Ivanov also pitted. And look at Klopp in 4th as well. 3 seconds now behind the leader. He's coming as well.
Nice move from Mashuli there.
Paschalis into the pit lane, so immediately decides to pit as well. Victor Ivanov doesn't go for an overtaking maneuver on the guy in front of him as a back marker. Look at Klopp now as well, the fastest guy on the track at the moment.
I didn't think he would do this. I mean, it was obvious he had damage at the start of that race. Really obvious. But there he is, driving within 3 seconds of the leaders of the race.
Yeah, and every single lap pretty much 3/10 quicker than the leader as well. It's why he is the champion, I guess.
Well, not yet, but he will be.
Yeah, he's rather close to it if he doesn't do anything silly. Or someone else perhaps does anything silly.
Yeah, that would be something. But you know, even if he crashes, Ragusa still needs speed too, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Would be a nice feeling for Klopp being the champion of Pro last year. Well out of his league, now the champion in Ace. Making some consecutive achievements work. We still have a nice race on our hands. Mashuti 1.4 seconds behind Michele, so he won't have DRS. And Ivanov now finds himself in between the leaders of this race, in between the podium spot. He's obviously a lapped car, so he won't give much resistance if Klopp is, you know, knocking onto the door. However, having that said, Klopp can use a little bit of an advantage in terms of DRS. But, you know, if you're catching up to the dirty air, it's definitely not worth it. Klopp not really catching up to Ivanov as fast as he should be doing. But that's maybe to do with the fresh compound tires that Ivanov has, right, Jeroen?
Yeah, Ivanov just came out of the pit really a couple of laps ago, so he's got relatively fresh tires. When we look at Rens Klopp, for example, he pitted 3 laps ago, about 4 laps ago in fact. Ivanov himself pitted 1 lap later than Rens Klopp in fact, so Ivanov
Rens
is the one
has to
with
do
the
19
tires.
laps on this
exactly.
setup.
It's a lot.
18 laps at least, that's a hard thing to ask.
Ivanov goes out of the way, I think.
Yeah, Ivanov is going. He didn't have a big crash on his head when he was young. He can still think clear. Nice guy, that Ivanov. Nevertheless, nice. Being nice doesn't give you a lot of points in FSR. You have to be that bastard that you know dives amongst these settled names, and you know you have to try to make a name for yourself. That's what you did this year, Jeroen. That's what Cuba Brzezinski did in my eyes, and Sam Bulak-Bassi is well on his way to do that as well. Definitely gonna hear a lot from him next year, I hope. But for the time being, though, it's still a nice fight on amongst the leaders. Eros Mashuti closed the gap with 3/10. He is now behind Hodas and will have DRS. And a little bit of a toe as well. He says thank you very much. Dankeschön. Now 8.5 tenths between Alessandro and Mashuti. And Klopp will have to lift a little bit. Remember, he still has to do a lot of laps on this stint. Or in this stint. Timo Valkyrjärvi can definitely be happy with a P5. I believe season best here for him. If he would finish on that position. He's going to the pit now. Bye bye Zwaai Zwaai. Really unfortunate that Ragusa isn't fighting for this lead, but you know, accidents can happen. That's racing.
A quick look at the lap times, I guess. 11-1 Alessandro. I'll come back to you. 11-1 Mashuti. What does Klopp do? 11-5. So lost out a little bit over the course of this lap. Gap is 2.5 seconds between the leader and Klopp. Currently in 3rd place. But Klopp has to make those tires last, that's for sure. Regarding rain, Chris. Yeah,
Tell me something good.
It is
Yeah. Tell me something good.
one thing which is positive, okay?
Okay, you're fired.
There are some showers being created much closer to the track than they were before. But I doubt they will be very big showers. But I have to wait for that.
Hopefully it's into the detection zone that triggers the rain. I just want to see digital rain pouring onto the track. Even if it's just the last 5 laps, they are still forced to make a pit stop. Hell, I even think with the last lap, you know, being made, you can still make a pit stop like we have seen in Spa.
Alonso in Spa.
Yeah, oh my god, that lucky bastard there.
Yeah.
I mean, not lucky, but he went onto the rain tires
that was
and just
epic.
flew by. he dropped down with 20 seconds, but then he gained 30 seconds whilst putting it up, and he even got a podium there. And that was the time that I believe Sebastian Bourdais got robbed of the podium by Alonso in that last few meters. I believe it was Bourdais being crushed away from the podium. The unlucky baguette French guy there.
Klopp gained another 3/10 over the course of the last lap. What can Masciuli do? How much pressure can he put on D'Alessandro? Can he get any closer than he is at the moment? These guys are both on the medium tire, so pretty equal conditions. Of course they didn't pit on the same lap I believe, but nonetheless.
Still have a little bit of a question mark with the earlier race decision from Masciuli. Yes, he extended his stint, maybe in the hope to, you know, maybe get 5 or 8 laps in terms of tire degradation in the end of the race, but you know, now they basically stopped at the same rate, and you know, it's completely not speakable of. We cannot speak of any advantages that he gained with that. D'Alessandro pitted earlier, and like I said earlier as well, if he covered off that pit stop, then he would have come out back in front and, you know, just drive off from there, I think. Nevertheless, that it's not what happened, and D'Alessandro is still leading this race. D'Alessandro is really looking strong for a victory here. He has 10 laps to hold off the young Masciuli there.
Oh, and Horrell,
Ben Horrell
DNF.
is DNF. What did he do?
Ooh, exit turn 9.
Bum.
There we go, in the barrier.
He's trying to test if his car was stronger than a barrier. And needlessly to say, the barrier won. Now, George backmarker Chatsepantelis is going back onto the track with a fresh set of tires on P10. Last regular point scoring position there, and well, he might do something or not, because Victor Ivanov is already, you know, almost lapping him, so not gonna happen. And Klopp now getting closer and closer indeed.
Klopp is going to join this for the last couple of laps, I'm sure.
Would be nice. I can't see if he has DRS because I have the Altabberg.
No, he doesn't. Definitely doesn't have DRS. He's 1.3 seconds shy of Masciuli. But once again, he's gaining 3/10 a lap, 2 to 3/10 the whole time. He's going to join us for the last couple of laps, which is nice to see. I mean, he's on the option. We said it before. He has to do 20 or what was it, 19 laps on the option.
Yeah.
Very demanding. It's a low
18 for
fuel,
sure.
of course.
And after 10 laps, the freshness of the tires is already, you know, has already well worn off. Yeah, well, it's gonna be a tough one for him, but there's nothing Rennes Club cannot do. Well, here he goes. It was 1 second, exactly 1 second, and now it's 9/10. But even better for Masciuli. He's now 6.5 tenths behind Alessandro, but he's losing a little bit through the Senna S's turn 1 and 2, and well, inevitably he's losing momentum in 3. He does have the DRS though to compromise a little bit of his exit speed there. Uses a lot of curb here and really some determination here, Masciuli. I can say he's really driving onto the maximum right now. After this lap, only 7 more laps to go. What an exciting race it's going to be still. I mean, Masciuli is still going strong and definitely wants this win. Rens Klopp is still smelling blood, but you know, you have to be realistic here. And you know, on paper, he is not really looking for this win. He is really reliant on a mistake of Masciuli of the Alessandro. But he will claim the biggest prize of them all, and that's the championship here. But you know, pure in terms of tire degradation and whatever, I do think that Masciuli and the Alessandro have the overhand, and they're already driving in front of the young Dutchman. So, you know, if that's not having an advantage, then I don't know.
Masciuli getting closer and closer. 3/10 was the gap on the last split. But look at Klopp right now, right on the back of Masciuli himself as well. Even fancies a look on the inside of the double right-hander. Obviously was too far back, but lets Masciuli know he now joined this group as well and is ready to fight. And why wouldn't he fight? I mean, yes, he has got those tires, but he's got incredible pace still as well. See what Masciuli can do. Needs to put the power down nicely on this corner over here. Does do so, but the Alessandro isn't likely to make a mistake. Very, very composed, driving very stable from him. And in fact, Masciuli dropped a little bit from the Alessandro over there, I think. Gap is 4/10 right now, coming into the Senna S section. We have got 3 cars within a second. That is very nice to see for the last couple of laps. Is there anything going to change in terms of positions? That is the question. Klopp really
Klopp is going for it. He has a
Masciuli.
really better top speed here. He's putting his car alongside Masciuli. Masciuli has to notice him. He just steers in, leaves Klopp the tiniest amount of spaces. But unfortunately for Klopp, he's a realistic guy.
Chris, it's raining on the track right now in real life.
Oh, come on.
Please, server, update server. It's no joke. The figure says right now raining. So
okay. I want to see rain. Christopher Kopp, come here. You know, put some water onto the track. I don't care. He has to do it.
That would be amazing. He just needs to update.
Oh, come here with the rain. I want to see spray. I want to see these drivers completely out of confidence. Like, what's happening? Why am I sliding? Why is there, you know, splashes out of the tires from the guy in front of me?
The question is, how much of a delay is there between the server updates
it should
and
be real time.
Real time? And of course it looks really sunny as well. It's not like it's looking dark or whatever. Please,
5 laps
please.
to go. The rain hype is real.
Yep. Pop this time a little bit further back.
I don't see dark clouds.
I know.
And that should be the thing. I mean, if it's all black in a minute, then we have our answer. Ooh, I hear contact. Is that correct? Ooh, I think it was George. Wasn't it George? Yep, George crashed. Whatever. It's number 3. Did you know if you replace 3 front rings in one race, you will get a discount from rFactor?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, George is knowing that now. But I still want to see that rain. Seriously, we have 4 laps to go after this. And wouldn't it be so amazing? I mean, last lap of the race. What will these guys do? Will Michele just drive this race out? Or should he go into the pit? Whatever. Oh man, it would be the end of the world.
It's gonna be drizzle as well. It's definitely not going to be heavy. If it's anything, it's going to be extremely light drizzle. But it can already be enough, you know. The things that it's still raining. When is it going to update it though?
Oh, Pontolis!
Oh, he goes out of the way. Fair play. Fair play.
Oh, I had my phone ready there to call 911. You know, getting a heart attack, but fortunately he noticed him.
Yeah, he did. Fair play to George getting out of the way there on the pit exit. Would be something for the last couple of laps. Look at Masciuli right now,
yeah,
really
he
close.
Wants to dive.
Picks up the dirty air as well.
He might dive in this next couple of corners.
Yeah, maybe.
Like right here, if he can line himself up. No,
it's the dirty air as well, which is just compromising him. Bit of a lock up there as well. He's definitely pushing, but Alessandro is composed. Knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, the Alessandro is switchy and turning a little bit on the steering wheel as well. His tires have definitely seen better days. obviously when they were first put on his car. Now again Mashouli with the DRS, but Michele just having a higher top speed. Michele not even defending here, he's just giving a non-verbal instruction towards Mashouli, like if you steer in, I'm gonna steer in too, so you know, how badly do you want to finish this race? Again, Alessandro is just not being catched out here by the DRS by Mashouli. And Eros has, well, got himself 3 more laps to go. Nevertheless, if he makes a mistake, then he won't get second place, he will get third place, because the young Dutch Rens Klopp is, you know, just luring into the darkness there. The darkness of the rear view mirrors of Mashouli. And Ragusa taking P5 from Hoyer there in the meantime. Or he just defended from it. Yeah, he did. And they're still battling it along. Whoa! Hoyer actually gaining a position now of Ragusa. GG, well played, Nietzsche Hoyer. But back into to the leaders indeed.
Yeah, final 2 laps over here. Klopp is going to become the new champion. It's safe to say that. But in which position is he going to finish? Third, second, first. He would say third. Although look at Mashouli here over here right now, having the DRS wide open. Is he close enough this time? Michele also on the road does feel the need to defend, but Mashouli is too far back. Both are so late on the brakes over there.
I'm really happy, by the way, that you became champion as Go Speed instead of having 3 Twister teams. You know, dominating the series. It's a little bit too much, to be honest. But yeah, Twister is just the most competitive team at the moment in Formula Sim Racing. What a team to drive for indeed. And Michele tries to, you know, give himself a good position here for next year. I mean, going out on a high is definitely better than, you know, scoring a second place. The last lap of the race is about to take place. Who will take the legendary bragging rights here in FSR ACE? Would it be the Alessandro, would it be Mashouli, or will it be Klopp after a horrifying dive bomb that Mashouli is doing right now? Come on! No, he's not.
He's a bit too far back, Chris. It's not gonna work. Maybe here though. Can he get a better exit? Pretty good run, but last time it was like this.
This is the only realistic place where he can still do it. So
yeah,
he does it now. Oh, he's going to do it.
Undercut, switchback, come on the power right here, Mashouli. Oh, here we go. This is going to be side by side, entering the double right-hander. I presume, although Mashouli is trying to squeeze him off a little bit.
Mashouli on the inside, ooh, they don't make contact, and he's gonna dive on the inside as well. The Alessandro cannot do anything, they make contact, Mashouli is spinning around, Rens Klopp is capitalizing on that, and Mashouli is taking P3 at the moment. Brilliant driving from the Alessandro, keeping it on track there, and Rens Klopp opportunistic to the max, but in the last lap of this race, with only one yard to go, whatever, he is taking P2 here, be a 1-2 for Twister. At least Eros Mashouli tried, I have to give him that. He really tried this time. But here is our race winner and our champion in P2. Michele Di Alessandro takes this victory in style. And yeah, Rens Klopp even lifting here. Really nice job from the both of them. So Michele Di Alessandro wins the last race of this season here in Interlagos circuit. The rain has been promised by Jeroen Kweekel, did not deliver. So next race around in 2016 we will have Ron Squire as our weather reporting man.
Oh, I'm fired.
That's for the viewer. Yeah, you're fired. No, but nevertheless, Michele is really happy, and he should be. And a really nice effort from Rens Klopp, driving 19 laps on soft tires. I'm out of words. Maybe that's for the good, but what an astonishing race these guys delivered, and the most exciting part was definitely in the tail with that last move. Mashouli tried it, and you know, Alessandro gave him just enough space, but there was contact made, and you have to admire that opportunistic driving from Mashouli. At least he tried to win the race. He didn't succeed, lost the place. Well, can still be happy with P3, but I think it must feel like a loss for him, because during the almost entirety of this race, he had all the ropes in his hand. You know, Mashouli that is. But, you know, Still have to come back to the pit stop, you know. Going back to the soft tires, spitting 3 laps later, I mean...
Was it the right decision? You could answer,
Yep.
ask yourself that, definitely. However, I'm sure Sandro will not even care a little bit. He takes home the final race victory of this 2015 season, and Klopp then being the championship winner.
And some donuts from Michele Di Alessandro here. Look at that. That's how you do donuts right there. Oh, what an awesome feeling it must be for Di Alessandro. Ending FSR Ace in a high. Winning the last race of the season. Almost winning the first race as well. If not, he, being crashed by a back marker. You were driving actually right in front of that, of him back then. I mean, it was in April, you know. It makes you feel really old now. It's November, but what a nice season it has been. 7 months of racing, 14 races. It has been epic, you know.
I definitely agree with you. It's been a remarkable season, obviously, with ups and downs, like every single season. And you know, I have to mention as well Kiss, because he was just so dominant in the first part of the season. Hasn't been there for like the majority of the races after that, of course, but still he ends in, what is it, Ragusa was 6th. I think Kiss would still get 2nd in the Drivers' Championship behind Klopp.
Wow.
And that he achieves that while, you know, being not present for a lot of the races.
Yeah, Daniel Kiss basically could have been the champion, but you know, after winning 6 of the first 2 races, he decided it was quits, and he could join WC, but he hit an immense lead. Nevertheless, it's still gonna be a Twister who wins the championship, and a Twister who, you know, they both made a 1-2 in the last race here at Interlagos. Astonishing performance for them, and I'm just happy for them all. I'm not really happy for Alessio Campos, who tried really badly to secure a nice position here. He had a crashing rFactor 2, and he couldn't see his car. He was basically driving with a bug, you know, where you can't see your wing of your wheels. So yeah, unfortunate season of a career ender for him, but yeah, unfortunate. Well, for now, I think it's time to wrap it up, isn't it? So and suddenly now the dark clouds come. Do you see?
Yeah, I was
moly.
just about to say it's getting pretty grey right now. I don't see blue sky.
Racist in Brazil, but I hope the clouds will stay until tomorrow, and we hope to see you guys there as well. Not really sure about the time when it's going to start, because, you know, after being late for an hour today, cannot say anything confident about that. But I'm sure Jeroen.
The broadcast will start at the same time as today.
Okay, well, there you have it. See you in about 23 hours or 22 hours time for WC, 18 hours or 19 hours until Pro starts. And thank you all for watching this last race of Ace. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did. And see you tomorrow, guys. Have a great evening. Bye bye.